It's that super no Shima flow. Yeah. It's that.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In this tutorial, I'll be walking you through the process of executing the unlimited jet gun glitch from start to finish. I'll also be covering the optimal class loadouts and necessary augments to make the setup as seamless as possible. I appreciate every single one of you guys that takes the time to come out here and watch, and let's dive right in. Starting with augments, we're going to cover the required augments to do the glitch. So go to equip augments, head over to Aether Shroud, select Aether Shroud, you need to equip Void Sheath augment, and I personally recommend extra charge. A very important part of this process, you're going to need the dual wield melees. It can be the size, it can be the katanas, either one works. Just make sure you have it equipped in your class. Alright, after you equip your dual wield katanas or size, we're going to cover the main part of our class. This isn't really required, you can use any gun of your choosing, but I definitely recommend using the dual wield GS45s. They really help speed up the process for those of you that have trouble getting the jet gun in early rounds. After loading into the match, I recommend you turn on the Rampage Inducer and play through the first 5 to 7 rounds and spawn, farming points to open all the doors, and make your way to the graveyard. I want to speed up this process until we reach that point. Stick with me. We're going to open the first doors here on the right. Then we're going to head for the next door, up these steps. We're going to go around the bus. And then we're going to go pick up the valve here in front of this building. And walk away up to the graveyard. Alright, from this point, if you have enough points, I recommend you go pack a bunch of your dual pistols. It makes this step a lot easier, as you'll be playing inside of the graveyard until you get the key needed for the first part of the jet gun. At this point, I'm going to speed up the video until I get the key needed to open up the shed for the jet gun part. After picking up the tool shed key, we're going to run over to the shed and we're going to open it up and retrieve our first part of the jet gun. After picking up the part inside of the shed, we're going to go to a crafting table right beside it, buy a Mangler cannon, and then we're going to head over to the comic store and open the door. As you can see, I'm getting my ass kicked, so I decided to hop out and dip from the comic store and run all the way back into the bowling alley, where I'm going to show you guys my next trick, which allows you to skip most of the valve part and use your weapons at the exact same time as you're doing the valve. So you're going to shoot off the cap here for the valve. We're going to place the valve on there, and then next we're going to shoot out the last of our Mangler cannon ammo. We're going to have 1 bullet left. We are going to kill our zombie, approach the wall. You have 1 ammo left. You're going to shoot it out at the same time as the bullet leaves your hand. You're going to interact with the valve on the wall and keep holding the button to use the valve and swap your weapons while holding the valve button. Do not let the valve button go, and you can use your guns while you're doing the valve, and you don't have to move anywhere, making this step absolutely Easy to do. Alright, now that we got the next jet gun part off the floor, we're gonna run all the way back into the comic store where we were before while I was getting my ass kicked. Then we're gonna pick up the next part off the floor. Alright, now that we made it back to the comic store and got absolutely manhandled by a vermin, we're gonna find that last part that we need for the jet gun here on the floor. One of these little pile spots that you pick up. You got that last part from inside the comic store. We're gonna run all the way back up into the hotel, and we're gonna craft the jet gun.
We at the club popping champagne caps.
Is that a design?
Good, man, you can't change that. In the future.
Now that you got that jet gun, we're gonna run all the way back to the bank. And on your way there, if you need any tacticals, monkey bombs, thermite grenades, any of those items, I recommend you have them in your inventory or buy them at the crafting table on the way over to the bank. And we're gonna finish this last step. All right, you're gonna pop your Aether Shroud. Just let it go for a second. And you start swinging with your dedicated melee, L3, R3. Keep swinging. It's gonna swing once with a jet gun, and it's gonna swing twice. When it swings twice, you stop. And then just shoot once with the fire button, and let go. And just like that, you got the infinite jet gun. I'm gonna show you how to use your tacticals forever without having to put them away. So first we're gonna go over the controllers. So controller, you can go all the way to combat, go down to equipment behavior, and set it to toggle. If you play on keyboard and mouse, it's the exact same thing. Combat, equipment, set it to toggle. Then we'll be going to the spot that we're gonna sit at and farm. Perks aren't really a worry at the moment, but you can get perks later on after AFKing for a little bit and gathering up some points. Little added trick here: if you melee with the jet gun before you buy a perk, it will automatically remove the perk animation, allowing you to buy the perk without losing the infinite jet gun. Alright, for next part, I'm gonna show you where to sit and where to aim your tomahawk at. So walk in here, walk up to this little desk. So right here on this corner is where you're gonna aim your tomahawk or whatever tactical you're using, monkey bombs, thermites, molotovs, don't really recommend that. And then once you get that, walk all the way back. You're gonna crouch into this corner, look directly at the corner of that desk. And I recommend you put a rubber band on your controller and make it move back into the corner so you don't get kicked or the manglers don't push you out of the corner if you're playing overnight. And that's pretty much it. Now I'll show you what it's like when it goes from where you started at to where you finished.
So I put the fingers up as if to say, fuck them all, fuck them all. I bet you they don't really know me at all. They say that nice guy finished last. Well, thank God I'm a true guy, man. You don't know what you talking about. Now it's straight steez, cause my style is just so hard to doubt. Yeah, they say that nice guys finished last. Well, thank God I'm a true guy. You talk about money expendable. City nightlife is Pixar, incredible. The shit I do